Hello, everyone. It's Bill from CambodiYeah. And the most important decision you'll ever make with regards to moving to Cambodia is whether or not you really want to move to Cambodia, because we tend to romanticize things sometimes or ignore issues that will very likely pop up. And there's a lot of things we just don't think about. So I'm going to help you clarify that decision to really make sure in 5 different sections here. First, we're going to talk about your day-to-day life. We're going to talk about work. We're going to talk about the weather. We're going to talk about the conveniences of life that you may be used to. And we're going to talk about the culture. So to start with your day-to-day life, the people you hang around with, your family, your friends, all of these people that you love. Do you really want to move away from them? Remember, you're not going on vacation, you are moving to Cambodia. And it's not a quick thing to get back to where your loved ones are. And it's going to be very expensive if something happens to them to have to go back and help. You may not be able to, and you have to take that into consideration. Do you really want the rest of your communication, unless you can afford to visit now and then, to be through like WhatsApp or on a phone call or text? Do you want that to be it with them anymore? The places you go, the places you like to hang out at. Let's say you like to go to concerts, plays, karaoke, things like that. Most of those things aren't here at all, or they're not what you're used to. For instance, concerts, the big names that you know, they don't tend to tour to Cambodia. And you're not going to find Broadway plays, or like you're not going to find Hamilton out here. You're not going to find the Book of Mormon out here. It's just not here. And if you're a fan of karaoke, well, it's not really like the karaoke you're used to where you go and sing in front of a bar of people. That doesn't exist here, really. Here, there's KTV places where you rent a little room with a group and you sing to each other. And the song list is not going to be what you're used to. So basically, the karaoke you know doesn't exist here. Think of all the things you like to do, the places you like to go. Do you really want to give all of them up? Think about the foods you eat and the restaurants you go to, the stores you shop at. There's no Costco. There's no Walmart. There's no Sam's Club. Your choices for groceries are the big open wet markets or the overpriced supermarkets. That's it. That's what you get. So, do you want to give up Trader Joe's? There's no Trader Joe's here. You're just not going to find a lot of the things you like. Craft beers, if you're into that. I mean, there's a few expat-owned craft places around, and they're not bad at what they do. But if you're used to certain brands of beer, you're not going to get Deschutes. You're not going to get Trappist Rochefort. You're not going to get Lef. You might get Guinness at a couple places. But for the most part, a lot of the beers that you know and love are not going to be here. Same with a lot of the wines. So you're going to give that up. Also, certain kinds of cuisines just aren't done well in Southeast Asia anywhere. You're not going to find a good New York pizza. You're just not. You're not going to find authentic Mexican food here. You're going to find a lot of good, great, amazing Asian cuisine, Indian, Thai, Vietnamese, Cambodian, etc. A lot of that. And it's all really good, but do you want to give up all the rest of it? Think about that. The second part is the work you do. Can you truly do your job remotely and not have to go to a meeting, ever? If something happens to your work, what will you do? Can you just get more work? If your client base dries up, if AI takes over most of the work you do, what will you do if your work goes away? Make a plan. See if it's something you could handle. See what you could do. Because that matters. Can you handle the electricity or the internet going out intermittently? What if you have a deadline? What if you do a lot of Zoom meetings and then the power goes out or the electricity goes out, which happens fairly frequently in Cambodia, at least in Siem Reap. Are you prepared to handle that? Can you just keep telling people, oh, sorry, it went out again? Because that's going to happen. You kind of, if you have a work schedule, count on missing some work. The weather, it's very hot and very humid. I'm used to hot, but not humid. I'm an Arizona boy. I'm used to a hot, dry heat like an oven. Here, well, in Cambodia, it's like being in a steamer. And so you have to be able to adjust to that and adapt to that. Some people like winter and they like cold weather. I don't. But those who do, say goodbye to it. There's no snow here. Well, here. I'm not even there yet. I'm saying here. I want to be there. Anyway, there's no winter. There's no snow. There's no cold. You can go up to some regions of higher elevation and get cool. But no more cold. And hey, for a lot of people, that might be a selling point. Convenience. You're used to probably ordering things and getting them pretty quickly online. Amazon does not deliver directly to Cambodia. If you want to get something through Amazon, you have to go through a service that will ship things to you, and that's going to cost some money and take some time. So you have to prepare for that. Getting regular mail, getting regular parcels, they're going to probably take a few weeks, and they might get stolen. So theft is a big thing with that. So can you get everything you need in Cambodia? I mean, I live in Siem Reap. If there's things I can't get in Siem Reap, then I would go to Phnom Penh. And if I can't get it there, maybe Bangkok. But other than that, and think about this, electronics are more expensive. Most everything else is way cheap. Electronics are more expensive. If you want to get a PlayStation 5, the digital version in America is $399. The cheapest I've been able to find online was about $450 for Cambodia. So there's that. You have to be comfortable with haggling for most things. If it's got a price tag on it, you don't haggle. Everything else, like pretty much anything in a wet market, you're going to have to be comfortable with haggling. And you especially should do it in Khmer. You should learn enough to haggle in Khmer because you will get decent prices that way. If you just go up like a chair's like, how about $4? $8. You're not going to get very good prices in English. I mean, that's just the way it is. So there's that. So yeah, there's convenience. Culture. You really have to adjust to the culture here because there's a lot of very loud holidays. There's Khmer New Year, there's Chinese New Year, there's like several other things, weddings and stuff like that. They go on for days. A wedding does not last half a day or a few hours. They last like 3 days. And they're loud. They got these tinny ass loud speakers out blaring this music all the time for like 3 days straight. And they can pop up anywhere. They will just pop up on the side of a street somewhere and they'll close off this little area. And they're doing that wedding for 3 days. I'm not kidding. So you have, and there's chickens, there's construction, there's the roads. So you have to be okay with more noise because there are very few truly quiet areas, especially in Phnom Penh. In Siem Reap, you can kind of find some places that are not bad, but count on noise. And there is a bit of a language barrier. Like in Phnom Penh, it's not going to be as bad. In Siem Reap, if you're near the temples or you're like near Pub Street, or Old Market, in that little section of town, there's a good amount of English spoken. But the people who would tell you, oh yeah, English spoken everywhere, yeah, nope, not everywhere. Get outside of those more touristy areas where Westerners hang out, and it's a lot more scant. You're gonna have to learn some Khmer to get by. A little rhyme. Anyway, seriously, learn some. And you'll have to deal with Buddhist culture and learn some things like don't, show the bottoms of your feet to people. Don't pat anyone on the back or touch them on the head. There's a lot of little things like that. Like we just see as friendly. They see it as invasive and a bit aggressive. So the culture is definitely like you can't speak as directly and confrontational as you're used to. Trying to get a straight answer can be difficult. And it can be frustrating, and showing anger openly and raising your voice and getting, a bit aggressive with somebody is not going to work. They're just going to kind of shut down and not want to help you. So you have to adapt to that. So think about all these things. Think about, do you really want to move permanently to Cambodia? And it might be worth it. It might be worth the trade-off to you. It might be a culture you can adapt to. You might not need all those conveniences or luxuries. You might be okay with just getting what's here. You might be okay with the weather. Hey, if that works for you, think about it. You might be okay with being away from people, or maybe you don't have people you need to worry about being away from. So really do some soul searching, dig deep, and decide. I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and like this video. And thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you make a good decision that works for you. Take care. Bye-bye.